Between two pies, back of the Packers, Winderlich, quick handball to Hocking, back to Lovett Murray, he goes short, there's a mark, to Zaharakis, Zaharakis has kicked a goal, the Bombers are in front of the G!
It's time to strap in and get ready. The leaders in AFL Supercoach are incoming, helping you win your leagues and climb up the rankings. You're now listening to the Insight AFL Show with your hosts, Big Horse, Skiddy, and Herbie.
Hello and welcome to the Insight AFL Show. I'm your host, Supercoach Big Horse, and I'm here with me both gentlemen today. But first of all, Skiddy, you're back. How are you, brother?
Oh, I'm going well, mate. Yeah, another big weekend of footy this week. It was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, some good games, but some also absolute blowouts and some shithole games. But that's all right. That's what we cover through here, and that's what we're going to be talking about all tonight. So it's just beautiful because we get to see this beautiful man to our right again. Welcome back to Big Herbie Bull. How good is this?
And the man returns, fresh off completing a fresh batch of pre-season. The man has won more BNFs than what I've had hot dinners. I speak of none other than Herbie Bull. How are you, brother?
I'm good, boys. Good to be back. Footy's what? About 96 hours away or something. So
quick maths.
It's going to be insane, boys. It's going to be insane this year.
Yes, mate. We're all keen for that as well. If you haven't yet, please hit like and subscribe down the bottom left. Put the bell on, triple bang. We would really appreciate that. Also, jump in our Discord. Inside Unlimited is live and for less than 50 cents per week, which you good people at home know is an upsized zinger box with an extra burger on the side. You'll get a year's worth of access to the professionals. You'll get insights, our trades, our captains, exclusive premium Q&A, every round of Supercoach, and a few other cool perks. Entry to our Discord will always be free. And if you want to get involved in the community and just talk Supercoach or fantasy sport, then go right ahead. The description will be below this video when we finish up this evening. Our $25, $50, and $100 cash comps are running, but we do have limited spots available. I think we had 4 join our $100 league today, so spots are filling up pretty quickly there. So if you're interested in taking part, please join our Discord. Send myself or these two guys a DM and let us know. We'll get you involved and get you in before time runs out. Also, our unlimited code, it is 913351. I repeat, 913351. It's free to enter, and if you get the top score each week, you get an $80 prize pack thanks to the guys at the Standard Squeeze who have been our major sponsor since round one. Skiddy, you've won one of those packs before, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, I think I did before I was like a regular on this. I think I was top 100 for one round. I was top 0.1% or something like that. And yeah, you boys gave me a nice packet. Now look at me. Now I'm on the show every single week. So how good's that? Sometimes you just get it.
Professional.
Yeah. We take that.
Yeah, absolutely. So just for the viewers at home and for those that want to drop in comments, go nuts. We will answer them intermittently as we go through. We'll try and get through a full batch of a game and then we'll get to the comment at the end of that certain game. But to start us off with our first game, which is the Pies and Richmond. They're going to be brought to us by the Standard Squeeze, helping you drink responsibly and conveniently. You can go to the website, thestandardsqueeze.com, and use the code INSIGHT15 to get yourself 15% off everything in store. Now, Skiddy, you watched this pretty much from start to finish, mate. Do you want to run us through what you observed?
Yeah, mate. So pretty good game compared to most of the other games this weekend. So we had Collingwood 10-16, 76 to the Tigers 5-16, 46. Shit goal kicking by Richmond. And it was really, really obvious when they got it down forward that Kaczynski was not can't be the main target up forward. They really need Lynch. Collingwood's ball movement and their defensive pressure as well was just absolute second to none. It was pretty much exactly what we saw last week. And a few of the boys came off the park a little bit early, or they stopped giving a crap late. I mean, Nick Dacos, for one, I'm pretty sure he only played like 50% game time or something like that.
59% to be exact, yeah.
59%. There you go. So, pretty much done and dusted. But still, in that 59%, geez, he was bloody good. I'll tell you that much. Probably. Yeah, it was a bit like that. Did you guys see it any other way?
Nah. Herbie,
Nah.
did you get a look, mate?
I did have a look. I was interested in the Pies early because I thought they had a bit of the wobbles, and one of those teams that just doesn't really care, I don't think, until it's prime time. So I don't think it's a game you can look too much into. Obviously, the Tigers kicked waywardly, and the Pies just I don't think they gave a shit, to be honest. So it's just one of those throwaway games. I don't think you can take anything away from this game at all. It's just one of those games that I think Richmond overperformed, Collingwood underperformed, and they still smashed them by 30. So nothing too Supercoach relevant, I don't think.
That's right. So with Richmond, they've pretty much come in full strength, just a couple missing. Collingwood without Pendlebury, Howe, Murphy, McStay, who's out for the year. How many Demartia, Sullivan, and Kruger, who's out for 10 to 12 weeks. So for those of you that are holding on to him on your bench, please piss him off. He is not going to do anything for you. So we've got a few notes here from the game. Nick Dacos, 650K mid, as we just brought up. He played 59%. Game time, but just dominated. They look to get the ball in his hands again, and people are talking about fading him. He's got an early bye. They play Hawthorn, who may tag him, but fade if you dare. I guess not buy beware because I'm bringing him in, and it's almost too much of a risk if you fade him. You fade English. You're relying on these people to lose money. What about if they don't? What about if they fucking dominate and then you're stuck?
Yeah, exactly right. I think he's just too important to have. It's like he had a 1.72 points per minute, which is just absolutely crazy. So I think he's probably going to be the best all year as well. And it's just a guy that you just get into the team and you just keep on swinging with him.
That's nuts. And like to put that in, I guess, dumbed down terms for people like me that are listening at home, if he's running at 1.72 points per minute, if he plays 100 minutes of the game, that's on average 172 Supercoach points.
Correct.
That's insane. So that just gives you a bit of an idea. Darcy Moore, 505K defender. He was all over Cozzy, but we're not going to read too much into that because Cozzy is an absolute dog's breakfast as a forward. Quaynor. Isaac Quaynor, or Quaynor, however the hell you want to pronounce it, Herbie. What do you think? 108 Supercoach points from 22 touches.
I don't know. Did you guys see that post about him the day after the grand final where he was back in the training facility, just looking absolutely shredded and just tearing it up? So he's one little bit like Kitty Coleman. Like the hype's just pretty high for them at the moment. So, but with Pies players, I don't know about you boys, but I'd just like to stay away. Except for probably Dacos because of that a little bit like the aging midfield that they have. Dacos is just the main guy, obviously, but all those other halfbacks like the Johnny Nobles and the Quaynors, and I just think it's a bit of a stay away.
No, you're absolutely right, mate.
They're not going to kill it like the North players,
Yeah. So good joke. Anyway, so we'll move on quickly because there is a bit to talk about. So Josh Dacos, he has got a pretty high ceiling, but the difference between his ceiling and his floor is probably too much when we're talking about a primo. Jordan De Goey did look pretty good, 69% game time with 111 Supercoach points, 22 touches and a goal. Could be a good POD for those of you that are looking to bring in someone else from Collingwood. Was running at 1.54 points per minute. Is that right, Skiddy?
Yeah, mate, that's right. And mate, his ball winning out of the guts was really, really bloody impressive.
Absolutely, it was.
And that's even with, Cox and Cameron being the rucks against Naismith, who was actually playing pretty well, Naismith. So
we'll touch on him.
But De Goey really showed his ability in the guts, and he had some really dominant players.
Yep. Mason Cox, 354K, ruck forward, 19 hitouts, 91 Supercoach points. Don't touch him, please. Lockie Schultz, 442K, has been talked about as being the premier small forward that's been picked up in the competition. Yeah, he'll be good at Collingwood, but Supercoach-wise, alongside the likes of Bobby Hill and these sorts of small forwards, it's
Jamie
going
Elliott.
to be an inconsistent ride. The next bloke I'm going to bring up, Skiddy, I want you to touch on this bloke, mate. Pat Lipinski.
Fuck, it was a good game.
He's looked nice all pre-season, mate.
Bloody oath, mate. And, it was one of those things as well when Lipinski was younger as well, when he was at the Bulldogs. It was like, this guy has some serious game, some serious potential. But he was playing in the Bulldogs, where it's a stacked midfield. He goes to Collingwood, another stacked midfield. It's just like he's not going to get enough. He's not going to get enough opportunity to be able to be really good with it. I mean, it's an all right price at $3.89, considering the forward line that, shit that we have to deal with this year. And 126 Supercoach points was nice. He played really, really well. But I just don't know in this Collingwood team. Like, as Herbie said, the only person I really trust is Dacos to do it on a week-by-week basis. Yeah. It could be DeGoey one week, Lipinski the next. You just don't know.
Yeah. Before I touch on a bit of Collingwood's game plan, Finlay McRae, 152k forward. 35% of teams still own him. He's a sub-risk. So for me, it's a no. There's others that are priced lower at what he is that are going to get more of a go or more potential to score Supercoach-wise. So what I want to bring up with the Collingwood side and what they do differently to other teams, which is why I believe Pat Lipinski, DeGoey, and these sorts of players might be nice, is because there's a bit of a danger zone in footy. So with Collingwood's forward half from, say, 70 metres out to 35 metres out, and then the sides of the square elongated into the forward 50. That's what's known as the danger zone. So if the opposition team turn the ball over in that area, 70% of the time, the ball goes to the other end for a score. It's not just in AFL footy. It's at Amos. It's at local footy. You're told that you are to nail your kick in that area. Otherwise, you've got to push hard back. Collingwood like to attack this area, and that's where you find your Lipinskis, your DeGoeys, these sorts of players. So it's an attacking game plan, which it could backfire, but at the same time, it could be, if they pull it off and they nail their kicks, premium for Supercoach scoring as well. Score assists, kicking inside 50, hitting targets on the lead inside 50 and so forth.
Can I just add to that?
Add
this. Do you boys think, watching all the preseason games, that every team is playing way quicker?
Yes.
Yeah, they actually noticed that a shitload, aside from West Coast.
Well, even West Coast was trying. They were trying.
Sorry, you're right. Trying. They were succeeding.
They were the side kicks, and then they just try to do the slingshot. And I reckon it's a real point of emphasis this off season, from what I've seen.
It's
it could be Supercoach relevant for sure for some of the players that are kind of on your mind. The game style's changed.
Before we touch on the Richmond side in this game, there's a few comments in the chat about this Herbie bloke being back. And who is this bloke in the white hat? It can't be Herbie. That bloke appears less than Haley's comment. Lads, flag pies, 24, G money. Good on you, mate. You boys got a baseball cap sponsor. Well, actually, we do. This is the Standard Squeeze, mate. So if you jump on their website, you are able to purchase this hat, or even better, if you get a top score for the week, mate, you'll get one of these sent to you. So,
and they're a bloody good hat.
They're a ripper hat. I've got a couple of them myself. So, Richmond, McAuliffe, Tresize, Tom Lynch, Vlauston, Ralph Smith, Nankervis, Morris Rioli out. Nankervis, I want to touch on this quickly. His foot injury may be more serious than first thought. I encourage people to start with Naismith at this point in time until we get furthermore on the actual diagnosis on Naismith and how he's tracking. This is a big money maker. I don't think he's good enough to be your R2. So don't try and cut corners when you've got the likes of Grundy and Gawn and English and Marshall and whoever else you want to put through the ruck. I don't think he's an R2, but he's a definite pig when it comes to making money. So I highly encourage people to be putting him in. Jaden Short, Skiddy, talk to me.
Yeah, Shorty, look, he was probably best on for the Tigs in this game, in fairness. 551.2k defender. They really looked for him out of defense in this game. He was like the Sheasel and the Dacos kind of role that he was playing for the Tigers. I thought he played really, really well. I'm just not sure about that price when there's other defenders that I'd rather have, but still, it was an impressive game.
Yeah, I worry about his hamstring, Herbie.
I'll move on to the next bloke because I want to talk about him, Liam Baker.
Here we go.
Bring it on.
I got an opinion about him. I love his game. Those two boys, Liam Baker, Jaden Short, they just never make a mistake, right? But it'll be interesting to see what position that he plays this year because last year he was playing a high half forward role, and he was going missing a lot. And I think he's kind of wasted there because him in that half back role is just perfect. So if he gets there and if he's starting there, especially with the Tigers not being too good this year, well, we're projecting, then definitely look for him because that price is pretty decent.
Yeah, just before we continue on, Global in the chat. Hey, Global, avid follower of ours. Degoe's a decent shout out to take his game to the next level. I agree, mate. And this bloke, Morley, you blokes are going to love him. Harry Sheasel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll talk about him more later. Now, Liam Baker, 445k defender forward, 22 touches, only 62 Supercoach points, but it is a preseason game. So if Herbie loves him, then so do I.
He went from half back to half forward as well a few times. Like he alternated, and I just don't know I don't think they have like an actual spot for him. You know, he's going a bit. But he's one that we want to talk about, Michael, because he is in a shitload of teams right now. Joshy Gibcus, 150.7 defender. And he looked pretty good, but there was no Velostrian around there, so that can take it away. But he always looks good on the eye. He had 62 Supercoach and only one mark. Interesting.
Yep. He does pass the eye test, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, big time.
He looks really athletic. Chris, if you're starting Gawn and Grundy, are you planning to upgrade both or just Grundy? Mate, we'll touch on that later in the episode because, I'm going to talk about Grundy and how he's possibly on his way out. Tim Taranto, 596k mid, was the main man in the middle alongside Thompson Dow. Got 26 touches and 5 tackles, 78% of game time, finished with 115 Supercoach points at 1.42 points per minute.
Not bad.
I reckon his price probably drops a little bit from nearly 600k, so he might be right for the taking.
Yep. Agreed.
Shea Bolton, 540k mid forward, only 88 Supercoach points, but he was taking the piss a little bit, wasn't he? Just running around doing his own little bit. I've already touched on Sam Naismith, but Thompson Dow, who might be a nice little pod for some people watching at home that are looking for your between 300 and 200k midfielder, your Thompson Dow, your Sam Berry. What do you reckon, Skiddy? You a fan?
Mate, I'll tell you what, we were in the chat in Discord, buddy. We had some boys getting up and about because of Thompson Dow that night. Far out. He looked pretty good. He got a lot of CBAs as well, which is really encouraging to see. Look, Presti is probably going to go down with an injury at some point this year. But I still think Thompson Dow plays alongside Presti and Taranto. Hopper looked like shit, in fairness, today though, in that game. So, oh my God. So, he could definitely get some more time at 254.
Yep.
Not too bad.
23 touches for Jacob Hopper, 27 Supercoach points.
It's just comical, isn't it? Like, to be kicking that shit. Oh, come on, mate.
So
He'll be better than that.
Kane Turner could do that with -2 disposals.
Now, we're going to move on to I've got in bold Carlton versus Melbourne, but underneath, it's probably more appropriate, the Maxi because he just took the absolute PI 55, didn't he? Melbourne, Oliver, Petty, McAdams, Spargo, Melksham, and Hunter did not play. This is your boy, Skiddy. I'm sorry, Herbie, but come on, Skiddy.
Mate, Max Gawn, that was just unbloody believable what he was doing.
Pre-season game.
Mate, 185 Supercoach points, kicked 2 goals, 30 hitouts, 24 disposals, and mate, he was just everywhere, just absolutely killing Pitnet. They benched Pitnet because Max Gawn was kicking his ass so badly in a preseason game. Like, that is just saying wonders. Also, too, we're going to blow your minds for a second here. Max Gawn, with that 185 Supercoach points, he didn't even play that much of the game. He averaged 2.3 points per minute. 2.3. Like, mate, it's just unbelievable. And, like, it's good to see Grundy gone because now we get Maxi back at full strength. This is fantastic. And he's going to be in so many teams now.
Herbie, tell me you're picking him.
He's pairing up with my boy Sherry, I reckon. I reckon he's slotting in right with him.
Oh, Sherry.
Oh, mate. Mister, I can't do a hit out to advantage.
G Money's just dropped in the chat, and we were going to bring this up, mate, but I'll bring it up now. He has been confirmed as playing. Huge pod, but no idea what he's going to produce. You're absolutely right, mate. And given that he hasn't played against elite level competition in the preseason, it may take him a little while to get involved, get his hands back. He is a gun. We know this, but at 680K, I reckon he's going to be a pod for a reason. I reckon we're going to see his price drop a little bit, and he'll be right for the taking. By that, I mean, I don't think he'll drop below 600K, but I think he will drop in price, maybe 50K. Trent Rivers, we brought up on a show a couple of weeks ago. Skiddy is a bit of a pod. And I did mention that it could be the potential for the Brayshaw replacement, who, might I add, I was in a Supercoach draft on Friday night and I was stuck at work, so I couldn't make all my picks. And sure enough, the auto draft picked fucking Angus Brayshaw.
Yep, I also had that in one of my drafts as well, but it wasn't me. It was my brother.
Unbelievable.
Yep, one of the boys got Brayshaw and one of the boys got Bailey Smith. So that really sucks.
Unbelievable. But anyway, Trent Rivers. It is too high of a price tag for now. But with the Oliver news coming back, Salem pushes back. That means he's got another distributor in the back line. Herbie, would you have any confidence in picking him?
Nah, not really. I'm a little bit... I don't know. I don't really know about the D's this year. I reckon they're going to surprise a few people because everybody's picked them out of the 8. It seems like that's the pick. But are they going to be that team that just kind of plays the bad boy role and just runs with it and, you know, goes on and does big things? I like one player from this team, to be honest. It's just Petrarca. I can't really trust anybody else. Everybody else is too hot and cold.
Gorn?
Petrarca and Gorn.
Okay.
Those are the only
there we
two.
go. There we go.
So
everybody else is just a little bit... Oh, and Caleb Windsor, because he's come in, obviously, at a good price. But I'll be interested to hear what you boys say about him.
There's a bloke in the chat, Herbie, called Matrix. He goes, I can't believe Herbie's real, but he must be. But he keeps dogging my Madden requests. So hopefully once we finish here, mate, you can get back to him. So Christian Petrarca, we're not really going to talk too much about him. 79 Supercoach points. He took the PI 55, took the foot off the gas. Tommy Sparrow was really nice. 3 goals, 20 touches, 7 tackles. Kicking is much improved from what we saw from last year. Was running at 1.24 points per minute and was one of the best on the team. Caleb Windsor. For those of you that saw the rookies pod that we put out about a month ago, I was able to get some notes from Mike Sheen. For those of you who don't know who Mike Sheen is, he's heavily involved in the Coates Talent League or the NAB League under 18s. And they had this guy as the best outside runner, the best outside player in the draft. And we spoke about putting him in right from the start. Yes, he's got an elevated price, but for those of you that did watch this game, you can see why. 77 Supercoach points. Yeah, he only got, 16 touches, but 2 goals. Good speed, good positioning, held his place well out in the wing. They didn't use his wing that well either.
No.
So for when they do go through his wing and he's using the ball, like he's got a motor, I anticipate that, your 70 to 80 could be a mainstay for him this year.
Yep, I absolutely agree. The only worry I have on him is if he only stays on that wing, because on the opposite side wing to him is obviously one of the best wingmen in the AFL in Ed Langdon, and they know that how he uses the ball and how well he uses it. So that's the only one. That's the only query of it I have. But either way, I still like what I'm saying from Windsor. He's got such good wheels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Klein and Brown, 102K forward. Nah, no thanks.
Nah.
Neil Bullen, 402K. Yeah, nice. 110 Supercoach points with 23 disposals and 4 tackles. Had some CBAs, but Clary's back, so let's not. This next bloke is a bloke that I picked up in my draft, my Supercoach draft the other night. Isaiah Pickett, 382K forward, played more the middle and got 5 tackles and 15 touches, which amounted to 102 Supercoach points. Would have been more impressive if he didn't go 1 goal 4, though. But his pace and his awareness and his elusiveness, he might be a nice little, go-to in the middle there when the Ds need something extra apart from the norm of Petrarca and Oliver.
Yep, except he's rubbed out, suspended. So
first game? It's only one game, I think.
I think it's only one, yeah. Is that counted as opening round? It would, wouldn't it?
If they're playing round 0, then yes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So I guess there you go. It doesn't even matter.
Herbie, Jack Billings.
Oh, Jackie Billings. I don't know. I think he's a bit of a trap. What do you boys think? I think a lot of people have picked him.
Yeah.
He's been gone from the Saints for a reason. He's one of those players that they rate really highly, but I just don't see it with him, to be honest. I think he'll be playing. Where's the twos again? He'll be in Casey for most of the year.
Casey. I like the fact that they had him on the same side as Langdon, though. So his half forward was on the same side as Langdon. So he was getting a piss load of it. And they actually did look for him a fair amount going into before they went into the 50. So he reflected with, again, a few inside 50s. But he played his role all right.
I think Hunter's the odd man out. I think this
so
guy
too.
plays.
Mm-hmm.
17 touches at 243 Ford. 91 Supercoach points.
Mm-hmm.
Very clean. One to watch.
Couldn't believe that he actually was like running back on defense too. Never saw him do that at the Saints, but there you go. He actually did it.
Yeah, it looked like he was running both ways. Yeah, we did bring that up in the Discord. Bailey Laurie, 125k, so rookie forward, 17 touches, but a lot of them were handballs. And yeah, was so. Probably not. Just watch this space with him. Yeah. Carlton had Walsh, Wiedering. Before we go on, we've just received word tonight, before going to air, that Sam Walsh will not play until round 4. So for those of you that have Sam Walsh in your side, get rid of him, because his back is a little worse than what they led to us to believe early on in the preseason. He will not play until at least round 4. It could be longer.
If only there was a podcast that would have told you that his back was worse than they were letting on. Unfucking believable.
I know, right? Give us the word. Walsh, Wiedering, Martin, Williams, Kennedy, Owies, and Durden out. So this guy grinds me gears, because every time I pick him, he shits the bed. Adam Sard. I'm not going to touch him.
Nah, I think I'm there with you. I think there's other players to go with him, but like still, they look for that runoff like from him out of half back. So it reflected in his score of getting 26 touches. 96, 97 Supercoach point, 98. All right, 98. Look, he looked all right, but still, again, I think for that price, there's better options to be taken.
There is. I'm going to throw this question to you, Herbie. Could you pick Windsor and Billings in the same team though, for your Supercoach team?
Probably not. You probably just got to pick one, and I think everybody's going to fade to picking Windsor. He's looked better. He's younger. He's got wheels, like you said, and he brings a bit of a difference to that team. I don't think Billings really brings anything to that Melbourne team. They've already got dynamic forwards. What does he bring?
Well, I'm going to tell you that I reckon he brings some disposal efficiency, and I'm picking both.
You're picking both?
I'm picking both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind it.
Well, this one's for you then, Herbie. Skiddy. Lazaro versus Windsor. Who you picking?
That's actually really, really rough, because from all experience, I would choose Windsor like immediately, just because Charlie Lazaro has been on one of my hated lists for a long time. But he's really, really improved, and the tackling's really good, and so is his wheels now, and he's quick off the mark, and he doesn't look like he wants, he doesn't care when he gets hit. So, and they're around the same price too. I think I want it, Mitchell. I really, really like that one. I think it's really, really close. Let's wait for round 0 just to see Windsor's complete role cemented, and then we can come back to that afterwards, and I will let you know straight away.
Join our Discord, Mitch. We will give you the heads up there. Yes, Herbie.
I want to bring this up, right? I don't know if it's just me or Skiddy or the other 12 North Melbourne fans / friends that we have, but it seems like everybody's picking a lot of North players this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
I think I counted and I've got 7 and I'm trying to fit another 15 in. So in the comments, tell us how many North players you got, because I'm actually curious. I'm sure Skiddy is, as a North fan, if we're just super biased or there's just a ton of value.
Oh, you're not going to believe this, boys. We've just got one that's gone in the chat. Not liking Grundy now, so Cherry is my new boy.
You'll get my opinion on your Cherry later, mate.
We'll bring that up soon, Daz, when we bring up North Melbourne.
I'm telling you right now as well, Herb, when I looked at my team, I think I had three or four, like rotating around with about like, North players in or not. And then when we were in the Discord, when we were watching the Saints versus North guys, two of the boys in the chat were like, "Oh, I think I've got like 5 or 6 North players in it." And another one goes, "Shit, how many North players is too many? Because I think I've got about 9." And I'm like, Jesus, settle, boys. But there's so much value there.
Absolutely, there is.
I'm curious what the non-North supporters are thinking.
Before we move on to the other Carlton players, we've got another comment in the chat, which we will bring up while we're talking about Melbourne.
Yeah.
So Janko Stoyanovsky. Hey, boys, who's picking Oliver?
No.
Not
originally. Let him get his body into more match fitness.
Yeah.
No, he's a huge stay away for me.
We've got Chris. I think Oliver's a trap. Yep, I think he is to start with, mate. I think we all agree there. And G Money, he's got 4 North Melbourne players, and he's looking at Biggie because he read the ball pretty well. We'll talk about Biggie Smalls later on.
Yeah.
So with our Carlton people, Nick Newman, pretty quiet. Not really too much to talk about. Brody Kemp's one to watch now that Wiedering's out for a little bit. Billy Wilson came on late and had one good run off halfback, but he's not ready yet. Paddy Cripps, don't know. Paddy Cripps, 545k mid. He had 25 touches, had a real crack in the middle. With no Walsh, it could make him better, but he's a frustrating Supercoach player. He's good for touches and for AFL fantasy, but for Supercoach, not so much. Yep. Anything you guys want to add there on him?
Nah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one, mate. That's absolutely bang on.
Yeah.
All I'll say Jack, is I kind of like him as that premium who's not too expensive. Because when he does get a good run at it with his body, he can provide those real massive scores. So I think he's one to watch, just see how he goes. What's it? He's in round 0 or round 1? I think he's in round 1.
0.
He's in round 0. Okay. So just see how he goes, see how his body's holding up, because he's one that, could really, push up, make you a bit of money.
I just think that I agree with that, but I also think without Walsh, it kind of hinders him a little bit because he has to go in and under a little bit more, which is not his full game style. They kind of like alternate a little bit more. But there's so much more reliance on him to do it when Walsh isn't there.
So would this be
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit?
I can think of other players that's suited too, but that works.
Isaac, number 1. Tom de Koning, 411k ruck. Ran up against Gawn and got shut on. No, thank you. Charlie Curnow, forward, 3 goals. Nah.
Nah.
I think he's going to drop in price. I know he's a good player, but I think he will drop in price. Harry Mackay, the almost bad as Guelphy kicking for goal. Fuck me. We'll touch on that later too. 10 touches, 3 goals, and another classic shank. Horacio Fantasia.
Also, too, just quickly, Harry Mackay was playing ruck for a bit there, which actually seemed to get him in the game a little bit, and it was, it was a nice little change up.
I don't think we're going to see that too much though.
I don't think so either, but he's probably going to be better than Pitnet.
Yeah, Pitnet was ranked number 3 for hitouts to advantage last year.
Unbelievable, wasn't it? Because he looks shit house too, doing it.
Yeah,
can't go around the ground.
We're talking about Horacio Fantasia, 175k forward, only 36 Supercoach points, and his hamstrings will go quicker than what his price will go up. So, no, thank you. Sydney versus Brisbane.
What's that? G Money's comment right now.
What's he saying?
G Money said Harry Mackay couldn't hit sand if he fell off a camel. Brilliant.
Not bad. All right. We're going to talk Sydney, Brisbane. Pack your bags because it's luggage time. Skiddy.
Damn.
Swans. They did not play Lloyd, Rampy, Francis, Warner, Parker, Mills, Papley, Reed. For Brisbane, Tom Doody, McKenna, Ashcroft, Bailey. And this is one we are going to bring up.
Yes.
Bailey, for those of you that didn't hear him the first time, Robertson and Fort. Let's talk James Jordan to start with. 275k mid-forward, 116 Supercoach points, 84% time on ground at only 65% disposal efficiency. Skiddy, he was really good.
Mate, he's in. Like, that's an easy price tag, especially now Sydney's midfield is now depleted. Now that
Mhm.
Adams has gone down as well, Parker's got the broken arm. Mills is, because he does dumb shit on Mad Monday.
Round 10 to 12, yeah.
Yeah. James Jordan, I know he'll get a couple of CBAs, but the thing was that really I enjoyed was he got 116 Supercoach points, but he was playing from the win, and he just looked really, really good dominating it, and they just went out there and just kept going to him. He looked fantastic. He was bloody good. Let's just say very quickly as well, this game was pretty much done at 3/4 time. They couldn't give him a stuff after that, so basing it off that.
We've got 2 comments in the chat. I will touch on G Money's in a minute, but Phil Unfiltered's been to some some Sydney and some GWS trainings and some games.
Yep.
And he was saying that Jordan was pretty much on a previous pod that we've done together, that Jordan's the man that everyone's talking about. So for this guy to speak about him like that, and then for him to come out and play the way that he did, it's pretty much a walk-up start for me in a no primo forward line for me.
Yep. Agreed.
So serious question from G Money. Anyone starting Goulden? Because his first few games, he should go off. Early buy sucks, but I'm starting him. G Money, I'm right beside you, mate.
G Money, I am also right beside you. He's in my team currently.
Yeah, I've got Goulden in the team too.
Oh, bloody hell. When do we ever do this shit?
And we got Mick Carter in the chat. Thanks for joining us, Mick. 3 guys sitting inside with hats on. Yeah, when you've got sponsors like ours, mate, that love seeing their hats on TV, then you've got to rep the brand, brother. But
when
thanks
they're
for
that
commenting
pretty.
and thanks for joining in. It makes me a solid 3 out of 10. So come on, mate.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while.
Matty Roberts, Herbie, give me some love, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to judge with no Lloyd, but he did look good. So it's a preseason game, so we'll just have to see. I think, yes, Sydney's another one I just don't know about. You just got to kind of see how they go the first couple of games. It's because they're a little bit like the Pies of Richmond. For me, probably the only player I'd look at is Grundy, but I know you faded off him, Mick. So we'll go into that. What are your thoughts on Brodie Grundy? Big horse?
Yeah, it was a dirty night for Grundy. A few too many free kicks against, but he's only warming into things. And I'll tell you why I'm fading him later, but it's not because of this game.
Yep.
So the next guy that we're going to talk about, Kai Lohmann, 150k forward. He scored 90 with 76% time on ground, and everyone is jumping on him. But Skiddy and I both agree, and I believe Herbie does as well. He played the exact role that Zach Bailey does.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Zach Bailey's available, he's coming in. He's going to take back his role, and Lohmann will play as that. When he does play, as we saw last year, he was a deep forward. He's a pressure forward, gets his 8 to 10 touches a game. I don't think that he's there yet with taking over Zach Bailey and his role, because Zach Bailey is a very good player and Brisbane are really deep. So buyer beware. I don't think you'll see this at all this year out of Lohmann unless injuries hit Brisbane.
Mm-hmm. Yep, could not agree more there, mate. I was just very impressed with his tackling, in fairness, though. For being such a small bloke, he really decided he wanted to get in and under, and that was the most impressive thing to me about the want to actually want to get it. So I agree with you on Zach Bailey being in that spot, but still very impressive.
Yep. I'll touch on a couple more, and then I want you to talk to me about Mr. McCluggage, mate. James Tunstall, 123k forwards, 59, 73% time on ground, 80% efficiency. Had a decent game. They are talking about him at Brisbane, maybe in line for an early debut. Kitty Coleman, 398k, 89 Supercoach points, 74% time on ground. Only went at 63%. Controlled the back line, but his disposal efficiency wasn't great. His early buy also hurts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, show me some love. Hugh McCluggage.
Mate, that was sensational what he pulled off there. Like, his ability to just win the ball in that game was just unbelievable. He had 162 Supercoach points, and that was a points per minute of 1.99. That was second to Gawn. Gawn still beat him by 0.5, but still, he was second for the round. It was a massive ability to be able to do that, and that was also with Neil and Dunkley in the side, pretty much having a full strength midfield. Lyons didn't take into that, but mate, he didn't play. He only played 3 quarters. Like, that's unbelievable. And 31 disposals, 9 marks, 4 tackles, and a goal. Shit. I don't think I can bring myself to bring McCluggage in just because he is probably the 3rd best player in that midfield behind Neil and Dunkley. But it's still something nice to see, in fairness.
Yep. Before we move off this game, Phil, Matt Roberts has made the most of every opportunity and will be in the team for the first few rounds at least. Coaches love him and can play both halfback and midfield. So looks like he may have a role starting there with
Really,
Sydney.
though? Like, I know he
does.
played in that. But Lloyd, Rampy, Warner, Parker and Mills are out for a while, but then Papley as well. Like, that's a fair few of their best, like, of their really good players that have to come back in.
It is, but
Phil's
if we
got
look
the
at their
inside word,
side-
mate. So you got to trust.
That's
him.
true. All right, I'll trust
when
Phil.
we're talking. There's Edwards,
fair.
Mitchell. I don't think we'll see Hamling. Sheldrick wasn't great. No, I reckon he plays.
Who do you reckon, Francis or Hamling? Or they're going to keep going small with Rampy?
Probably
because
Rampy.
they didn't have it. Oh, sorry, McCartan as well. But they only had the one big, which was McCartan, and then they would play Francis, even though he sucks. But Hamlin can play that role pretty well. He's a premiership backman, so
I was celebrating when we got rid of Francis, and then we picked up Mackay. Yay! Anyway, we move right along. I know you both love that. So, the Giants played the Suns, and this game was over really early on.
Oh yeah.
For the Giants, Perryman, Cumming, Ash, Callahan, Bruce, and Hogan. Callahan may have more of an issue with his shoulder than first reported as well, and may not be ready for round 1. So for GWS, Lockie Whitfield looked really nice with ball in hand. The Giants still look for him off half back. 15 touches, 78 Supercoach points at 1.33 points per minute. Not a bad showing for someone that was taken off the ground just after halftime when they were 10 goals up. Herbie, could you risk it?
I got to say, boys, this was a very disappointing game because I thought this would be an absolute ripper. And I just want to say this, just a bit of a disclaimer before we start talking about the specific players. Have any of you boys mentioned that the Gold Coast Suns is our team this year? Or has this not been mentioned?
You may as well bring it up now.
Yeah. All right. So here at Insight Fantasy Sports, the AFL boys, we've adopted a team for the year. So we're going to have a little punt on them. We're looking for a bit of a roughie, and we've gone the Mighty Suns. So don't be surprised if the odds drop very, very short in a very short time because the Suns are coming. That's all I'm going to say.
You make it sound like they're selling off Caribbean islands to put it on the Suns.
End of September, the Suns are going to be there.
They won't be there.
You heard it here first.
I really wish I didn't make that bolter bet with Mick where I said that Suns wouldn't make the finals now that they're our team.
I will say after this performance, I'm a little bit nervous, but it's all good, right? It's all good.
I think they do play finals, but I think the GWS Giants, I reckon it's nearly their time. They look really nice. So Harry Himmelberg as well, 450K, 20 odd touches off halfback, didn't go forward, looks nice as a third tall intercept. What do you reckon, Skiddy? Nah.
It was nice to see him stay down back, and we know we can get the big scores down back, but still, I think there's better options elsewhere. But I know this isn't Supercoach relevant or anything like that, but I just got to show a bit of love to bloody Jack Buckley and Sam Taylor down back for the Giants. That was just an absolute defensive masterclass, what they did against the Suns, and then also the week before against Sydney. They look so goddamn locked down. That was just absolutely fantastic. But back to the Supercoach. Tom Green. Did he play well? Mate, I'm calling this bloke the porn star from now on just because the Balls love him. Absolutely love him. He just finds it everywhere. He was getting it all in the first half. He had 118 Supercoach points, had 82% time on ground. But he had 24 when he was like already halfway through the third when they pretty much had this all done and dusted. So pretty good. I don't know. The buy kind of scares me a little bit, but he's someone he's on the edge for me. What are you guys thinking about Tom Green?
Oh, I reckon he's a lock. He's
an
absolute lock with Dacos. Yeah. So I think that if you look at the disposals market for how much who's going to average the most disposals, it's literally Dacos and Tom Green. Tom Green won it last year. And he's just a bull. Like, he's just an absolute bull. He racks them up. He does so many good things with the ball. He's becoming their main guy. And then you got like the polish of Kelly Cornelio around him, but he's kind of become that main guy, like that Petrarca type of guy who's just so powerful in the midfield. For me, with how much he racks them up, I just think he's a lock in the team.
Okay. Josh Kelly, 568k mid, only 19 touches, 56% time on ground. Little inefficient early, but started rolling. He's a bit of a Rolls Royce. I'm not really that worried about him. Josh Fahey, 136k mid, had 16 touches, but inefficient. Only went to 49 Supercoach points. Jacob Weir is someone that I've got sitting on my bench at the moment. The main thing here is that he started on the wing and made it his own. 12 touches, 55 Supercoach points. Job security looks locked. He looks good. Now, I did see someone in the chat about this next bloke.
Darren.
Dazza. I liked Harvey Thomas, lads. What do we think? He holds his spot. I've brought him onto my bench, mate, in my forwards. I really like the bloke. 117k mid forward. The speed and tackling pressure was what stood out to me. 6 tackles, 14 touches, 72 Supercoach points. Looked really good later in the game. And this is even when, like, Brent Daniels left the game. And then they shut it down pretty much halfway through the third quarter. So it could have been, the ball would have been in GWS's forward line a lot. Plenty of opportunity for him to score big. So, his job security is probably not at 100%. But I think after the preseason he's had, I'm pretty confident he's going to start the year in the ones.
You reckon? Okay, because I'm a little bit on the other side, just where I go. When you look at the small forwards that the Giants already have, it's Daniels, Toby Green, Bedford, and I just don't know if he can really crack it. I liked how he played. I just don't know if he can fully cement himself in that side. But it's one to watch for sure.
I think he gives GWS more than what Bedford does.
I can see that as well. I just don't know if they're going to start off. Like, Bedford did play bloody well defensively in the finals as well, which is, I think, gives him a bit more of a nod over Thomas.
Yep. If you're looking for someone that's going to play, but you're not really worried about points, you could go Aaron Cadman. He has looked pretty good this preseason, 127k forward, 13 touches, 43 Supercoach points. He had to deal with Sam Collins most of the game. He did take a couple of ruck contests, but still the big prices aren't real, or the big scores aren't really there for him yet. Toby Green looked unstoppable down forward, 3 goals, and passed a few off, 19 touches, 124 Supercoach points. Kieran Briggs. Now, you did some maths on him, Herbie. Skiddy.
Yep.
Talk to me.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Briggsy, he played well, but Jesus Christ, he got absolutely belted by Witsy in the ruck. But Mac Andrews was the backup ruckman for the Suns. Briggs had a points per minute of 1.44, so 112 Supercoach points overall, and he only had 21 hitouts. So that was the interesting thing, that he only had 21 hitouts. We know that that Witz is one of the most dominant ruckman in the AFL when it comes to actual hitouts. So when we look at that, he only had 21, but he had 20 disposals around the grounds, and that's only with one mark. So you're telling me he only had one mark around the ground, still 20 disposals, mate? He's got so much room to go up from here. So, I mean, if you want to go for the price, I mean, it probably would be the one that you'd be able to go from to English the easiest. So, but I don't know if I just want to go straight to English or if I want to go start with Briggs. But it's a good show because he played well.
What do you reckon, Herbie? Would you consider him?
Nah, I'd rather Wits at that price. Save 15k, put it in my pocket, and you're good to go.
And put it back in the Suns.
And then put it on black. And then double it up and then put it all on the Gold Coast Suns.
Yes, sir. For Gold Coast, Walter Day, Weller, Atkins did not play. This was a bit of a shit show to start the game, but under a new coach and a new system, I think it will take them 6 or 7 rounds to get going. So don't be surprised if they're 3-4, 4-3, and then they go on a bit of a roll like Hardwick did with the Tigers a few years back when I think the Tigers were 6-6 at round 12, and then they pretty much won out on their way to the flag. I'm not saying they're going to win the flag, but I can see them getting a roll on at some stage. Connor, how do you say his surname? Buderick?
Buderick.
301K. He played more of a lockdown back role, which allowed Sexton to get free.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for those of you that haven't listened to the pod that we did on rookies and rookie prices, Sexton, we called it early, get him in. Noah Anderson, 586K, 28 touches, 97 Supercoach points at 81%. He was good last year, but faded late. But I'm not sure with Miller and Real healthy that he goes big like he did to start last year.
I agree. And with also Flanders now being part of the obvious midfield rotation, I don't know. I just don't think I can get any of them besides maybe Took. What do you think, Herbie?
Yeah, I agree. I just like Took at that price. And I've liked him at that price for quite a while. So he's in my team at the moment. And I just think he's a bit like a Cripps. Like he just presents like a bit of value. Someone who can get a roll on, can score a lot. He just needs a good bill of health. Hopefully he can get it, knock on wood. And then, he can produce those high scores. So for me, he's probably the best value there out of the Anderson, Rao, Miller combo.
Yep. I agree.
Matty Rao, no. Yes. No.
Not at that price.
Took Miller 545K mid, game high 33 touches, 116 Supercoach points, and his friendship, his mateship, his brotherhood with Wits. I really like it, and he's made his way into my team for now.
I like that, mate. But Mickey Dell, how about we just answer the question that's probably on everyone's lips? What are you doing with Sam Flanders?
He's gone.
Yep.
It is very apparent with a healthy Gold Coast midfield that he is going to spend not much time in there, and he's going back to his forward role where he averaged just south of 50 Supercoach points per game last year. Do I think he's going to average 50? No. But for someone that's 494K, why wouldn't you save 240K and pick up James Jordan?
Yep. I 100% agree, mate. The signs were 100% there where he had the least amount of disposals out of the four mids. Wits didn't really tap it to him at all. He played from behind a little bit, but it was absolute nothing. And then he moved forward in the third quarter and had like one touch. And you're just like, well, that's annoying. And then he got a few more disposals late after the Giants had pulled Kelly and Whitfield and stuff. So, unfortunately, I've faded Flanders hard. He's gone from my team. It's sad. We all thought we were onto something here, and then
no.
See you later. Stupid, sexy Flanders.
When Hardwick posted that thing he posted about feeding Flanders,
he's just trolling. Jared Witts, 593K, 37 hitouts, 75% game time. Look really strong, but only 9 disposals around the ground. I think his price will drop, but I think there's better ruckmen out there. Alex Sexton, 133K. I could talk about him a lot now, but all I'm going to say is just put him on your side. Start him at F5 or F6. He may not score 125 Supercoach points each game, but 31 touches, 11 marks, and they're looking to go to him.
Oh,
you got to.
He has to be like. I think he's only at like 60% ownership to something like that. He should be in every single team. It's an absolute free swing at the stumps. This is unbelievable value that he's going to be able to provide.
I will say this about him. When it did get brought up that he was going to play halfback, and I sent it to you boys, and you boys had known about it since about 7 or 8 months before I told you. But I thought there's no way he's going to play halfback because Alex Sexton is he's just not the type of player that I would think could play that role. I didn't think he could defend at all. I don't even know if he can still defend, but what he does have is when he gets the ball, he's actually got a lot of polish, right? Yeah. So they do just look for him kind of like that Brad Hill type of role where they just feed him and then he just runs off, dashes, breaks lines, and then hits targets. And if they're going to look for him like that, right, the Suns are going to be decent this year. They're going to look for him to rebound. Then at that price, I want 22 of him.
100%.
So
Load me
at the
up.
moment, we've got
Sexton.
22 Sextons, 37 Kangaroos players. What else do we need?
One Errol Goulden
One Errol
and a
Gordon.
Gorn.
And Chris Davis has mentioned Dawson. Is this Dawson from Adelaide?
If it's Jordan, then I'm watching. If it's Will from North Melbourne, then no. And if it's Callan from North Melbourne, then no.
And if it's Dawson from Dawson's Creek, I have not watched it.
Neither have I.
No. So the next game, Geelong.
You want to talk about this
Essendon.
one? You sure you want to talk about this one?
Not really.
It actually wasn't that bad.
You know what? We'll go through it nice and quickly because we don't want to keep everyone awake till midnight. But Essendon lost. Let's move on. So Tom Stewart only scored 74, but yeah, he's on my side. We know what he can do. Mitch Duncan, don't look too much into what he's doing. 21 disposal, 81 Supercoach points, but he's not in my side at all. Skiddy,
watching this one, watching this one, mate. He played very, very well when he came on the ground. So he came on very, very late. He only had 30% of game time, but 61 Supercoach points, 12 disposals, 4 tackles. He had a PPM of 1.78, which is actually very, very high. I mean, if the Cats aren't going to play him though, then I don't give a shit. But it's an undoubtedly good amount of Supercoach points and good profile that he has if he can get the game time.
Yeah. Herbie?
Danger?
I'm faded on all the Cats.
Okay.
There's only one cat that I'm thinking about, and it's Graham Myers. But even then, I'm not too sure about that, to be honest.
Gran. Thank you,
I'm
Gran.
just faded on all of them.
Paddy Dangerfield? No.
No.
Toby Atkins? No. Maxi Holmes looks nice.
Ooh,
I like him. 108 Supercoach points, 29 touches. Look great coming off halfback. 65% game time, 108 Supercoach points with a PPM of 1.45, which is very impressive. If he gets DPP in round 6, let's get our searches on. And Chris Davis just said Jordan Dawson, not the other Dawsons from North Melbourne.
Definitely watching with the news out of from Sloan with his eye injury that Adelaide are now they're letting Rory decide when he wants to come back, when he feels like he's right to come back. So he's not there yet, just because it's the second time he has done the eye injury. So Jordan Dawson can definitely have a bit of an increase.
I'll bring up this guy as well, Jai Clark, 123k mid. Nice game, 17 touches, 5 tackles, 83 Supercoach points in 69% time on ground. He did get 5 free kicks, but he was getting in and under. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I think he's on my bench. I think we're going to get value here. Sean Manor, no. He came on late. He did kick a goal, but no. Jezza Cameron, 17 disposals, 8 marks, kicked 0 goals, 3 for the day. We're not losing hope. He could be in as potentially one of the only key forwards that I'll ever look at in Supercoach because of his diverse skill set. Do you want to talk about Grant Myers, Herbie, given that you've got an interest in him?
Yeah, give us a go.
So what he is he's a Tyrese Halliburton of the AFL. He's just setting people up and he's just looking diamond and he's just getting it everywhere. So I think I like him. I like him. Supercoach relevant. He's one that's elevated his game a lot in the past, like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So for me, he's the only one I see in that Geelong side that is tempting, just because of his upside.
Okay.
And G Money's nailed the bloke that we're going to talk about next. Skiddy?
Look, mate. He's in my team as we speak. Ollie Dempsey, 148.4k forward. I thought he looked absolutely phenomenal, and he's got a little bit of the it factor, in my opinion. He's got some athleticism. He's got some ball work. He's so good overhead for the size that he is. I couldn't believe it. He had 6 marks, 93 Supercoach, 15 disposals and a goal, mate. And the most outrageous thing was they were kicking it to him one-on-one out on the wing out of defense. Like that's normally where you kick it to Hawkins or Cameron or a ruckman in Stanley or something. They were kicking it to Dempsey. And I'm like, okay, there's a bit here. There's a bit of trust here. So he's in my side currently. I'm just going to have to wait and see if he actually still makes the side.
Yeah. For the Bombers, Heppel, Kelly, Hobbs, Shield, Draper, Wiedemann, and Caddy out.
Some good names there.
Yeah, Jordan Ridley, 530k, hurt himself, but it's only a low-grade quad, so not overly concerned.
Good.
Andrew McGrath, 31 touches, 111 Supercoach points is solid, but do not touch him, please. And for
Agreed.
those of you that aren't aware, I'm an Essendon supporter. I do watch what a lot of their players are doing in Supercoach, and I've only got 2 of them in my team at the moment. Nick Cox, no. Zach Reed, big tick, yes. This
Agreed.
bloke can use the ball. He's 6'8". He can mark it. He can kick it. He uses the ball. He's got good hands. Played 92% of game time, which is super encouraging. 15 touches, 7 marks. It looks like he's the new man down there. Yep. So just throw him in. You're going to make 250k out of him.
Hey,
Really
Mick,
nice.
when I was doing these notes for us all as well, I basically did it on the basis of who was at least more than 2% owned to write these notes about. Ben Mackay was 2% owned. Are you fucking kidding me? Supercoach, Ben Mackay? Come on, boys. You just, nah. All right, bugger that. But yeah, I mean on Zach Reid.
Yeah, good. Herbie?
Oh, I'm just going to say this about Mackay. It'd be good if it was just a marks-only league. But considering we're doing a few other things, maybe fade on him. So, with Essendon, look, I really take your advice with these boys. I'd be interested to know though who you're picking out of Merritt or Parrish if you had to pick one.
Parrish.
Wow, as an Essendon supporter, that shocks me.
It's turned me, like, as you know, having played a lot of footy in the past and watching sort of the inside movement and how particular players play. I hated watching him play, but now from a super coach perspective, it's converted me to kind of liking him until he burns me. But at 123 super coach points, a lazy 34 touches, and a PPM of 1.43, what impressed us most is that he wasn't just looking to handball straight away anymore. Like, he's trusting his kicking and he was hitting targets. So with Durham in there as well and Setterfield in there, like, he could be just as good inside as what he is out if he can keep up with his disposal efficiency. So that just may add another string to his bow.
Yep, agreed. And the fact that he was also taking the game on and taking on some players as well, big tick for me. I really like seeing that out of Parrish. That's good stepping stones to being the player that he can be.
Now, to stop me from proverbially blowing my absolute load all over the computer screen, talk to me about Nick Martin.
Oh, geez, mate, that out of defense. I mean, look, it's me and you talked about it. You know, in pretty much all of our shows when we talk about Nick Martin, we have to make sure that he's the one that's coming off halfback and he's the one that's playing that Dacos kind of Sheasel role, and he has it. And they look for him big time. Unfortunately, they're also looking for McGrath in the same way, but it's like they look for McGrath in the way that they're just going for a long ball out of it. When they look for some actual decent ball movement, it's all through Martin. I really liked what I saw out of him. And obviously too, there was a bit of just he was good. He was very good. I can't keep tooting you up a bit more, Horse, but he's in my team as well.
I've got an absolute raging.
You convinced me there.
He's so in.
I'm not going to read the rest of the notes that you wanted me to say. Like, you know, that's a little bit too graphic. I'm not saying that, but it was good. Martin was bloody good. So I love what I see that he's coming out of halfback. Xavier Dersma, that was a bit of an iffy one for me. I saw some people really liked him, but no, his kicking efficiency wasn't great, and he really didn't look like he liked contact. So that's a no for me. But Mick, speaking of guys that's going to get your dick hard for years and years and years, talk to me about Elijah Sardis.
Yeah, we've got a good one there. I really like him. Yeah,
Supercoach wise though,
not yet.
Yeah,
no.
How does he fit this year?
No.
Yep, agreed.
No, there's better options at that price. He is going to be a gun, but until he cleans up his disposal, he's going to be that mid 300s to high 300s type of player that can get you 20 touches a game, but it's going to be running at between 50 and 60% disposal efficiency.
Good work rate though. Really impressive.
Real good work rate. Yep.
Yeah.
Can we just go to a training and just see him hopefully hang out with Merritt and not Parish, though? Because that's what you'd want to see, right? What do you think, Big Horse?
All right, let's do it. We'll go down there. We'll pack a couple of stuffies and we'll get into it.
I'm not going to fucking Windy Hill. Fuck that.
Oh,
Jade Gresham, 373k forward. I can't believe how many people have actually faded him, in fairness. I thought the Bombers would have been all over him, but he kicked 2 goals too and had 69 Supercoach points. Look, he looked all right when he had the ball. Like, he looked a bit exciting for Bombers fans, but just not enough for me to see down there because he played pretty much solely deep forward.
yeah. And that's it from the Geelong Essendon game. So our next lot of practice matches are going to be brought to you by Ryan from Astute Newstead. Are you wanting to buy your first home or even an investment property and don't know how? Or are you a current owner of a house with an interest rate of over 6.2%? I can guarantee you that there are better options for you. The best part is that Ryan will do it for free. Reach out at ryan@eganwealth.com or Facebook or Instagram at RyanSHL_astute. Or on phone number 0431 766 784. And for those of you that do not know yet, before we continue on, Herbie, we have the Supercoach World Cup. If you think you have what it takes to be the best at BBL, NBL, AFL, and NRL, join our Discord for a small fee. You can go up against everyone else who has paid to be a part of the competition. And if you happen to be in the top percentages of all 4 sports, you will be crowned the best Supercoach player in Australia with a nice little cash prize and a trophy, thanks to the guys at Insight Fantasy Sports. Ooh. What were you going to say? Sorry, Herbie.
I was just going to tell our co-host Skiddy that you can't just go off and call Ryan from Astute right now. You got to wait till after the pod. Mate. Like, come on. It's a little bit unprofessional.
When he's calling, I'm picking up. I'll tell you that much.
These are tough times. We actually need it. We do need it. Tough market.
100%.
All right. Freo and Port Adelaide. I'm going to start off with this.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Ollie fucking Watkins. So, toot. Game high 130 Supercoach points from 27 touches and played with Rosie and Butters in CBAs when Butters was on. He was brilliant in tight, but we know how he starts seasons. 3 center clearances, but he just dominated. Can you bring yourself to do it at 460k?
Yes. I hate it, but it's like, damn, like, I don't know, like, I kind of like it just at that price because, like, I'm thinking of him on Crouch, but I think I have more faith in Wines. But I don't know. I know what you always say, not at the start of the season, not at the start of the season. And it's like, damn, maybe.
Right. Can I just say this? I always look at players like an Ollie Wines, and I think he's 37. And I've just Googled it. And the guy's 29 years old.
He's in his prime, man.
He feels ancient, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does.
So, yeah, he's a wait and see. But Mix, that's your man. So, yeah. I'll let you do.
Boys, before we continue on about Ollie, thoughts on the fair bump in the Saints game at Large Horse? I've seen this bloke, William Hill, take out blokes on a footy field and take some absolute cracker marks. So he's one of the good blokes of the Bendigo region, old Wilbur. We'll touch on that in the North St Kilda game, but I reckon you'll have 2 blokes raging. Let's talk Dan Houston.
We got all of Australia raging, in fairness, but yeah.
593k defender, 109 Supercoach points from 26 touches, 8 marks and look really solid. 88% kicking efficiency is what we expect out of him. He took his game to another level back end of last year, but at 590k, could you?
No, I don't think I can. In fairness, I'm leaning elsewhere. I'm going obviously Dacos, and then I forgot who the hell my other one was. But it wasn't Houston. Oh, yeah, it was Sheasel. Yeah, I went Sheasy instead of Houston. So could you ever...
Fisher,
could you do Houston for Stewart, or would you just feel way more comfortable with having Stewart down there?
No, I've faded Houston, and I've gone Stewart.
Yeah, righto. Cool. Jace Burgoyne looked pretty bloody... looked all right in that game. 179k defender. And at points, he looked like he was absolutely everywhere. And I know the game was done and dusted pretty bloody early, but 20 disposals, 3 tackles, 4 marks. And he only kicked it 65%. He'll get better, but I didn't mind his game, in fairness. I just don't think he'll get a game, unfortunately.
No. Zach Butters, injured early. Don't worry too much. I've got an 11-day break. He'll be fine.
Yep.
Connor Rozee, 601K, just was in cruise control. He looks like he is going to be one of the best players in the competition for the years to come.
Yep.
Oh,
I'll tell you, if he had
in there, yeah.
If he had forward eligibility, far out, he'd be in so many teams this year. He'd be everyone's primo forward.
He would be. Yeah.
He'd be the Dunkley of this year.
That's what 100%. Yep.
Absolutely. The ruck contest between Saldo and Sweet, I think we know now that it is going to be Saldo without any shadow of a doubt.
Yep. Absolutely agree.
Herbie, let's talk about this bloke because I know you really like him. Jason Horne-Francis.
Look, I'll be honest. I actually really don't like this guy. But you know what? When I watch him, he's a good football player, right? Like he's all the stuff that we were excited about at North. He's just showing it here at Port. And look, if it was another lifetime, maybe I would pick him in my team. Let's just say that. I actually do not mind him at all. He's got a lot of upside. I'd love to hear your boys' thoughts on him because I'm very biased. I'm very, very biased.
Go on, Horse.
No,
not for Supercoach for me. Look, Butters was out. So, that's a no-no for me. That's probably why he got so many more CBAs and looks so much more impactful. I think he's going to be a great football player. But, that's about that.
But he's their point of difference. He's their, like...
I don't give a stuff.
Or he's that guy. So obviously they're going to put him in. He's going to have so much opportunity. I can't believe I'm talking like this.
So
I'm going to shut up.
Okay, there's players better than him. Wait, Mickle, just quickly.
How do I mute him?
I don't know. We need to figure that out, though. I like the question from Ashley. Who are your absolute Supercoach locks? Who do you guys value as absolute locks this season? Because I think I have 5.
How many do you want?
Well, I have 5 that I count as absolute locks in my team.
Okay.
Because I value a lock pretty highly. So mine's Windsor, Reed, McKercher, Sexton, Harley.
Yeah, I know.
Sexton and someone I think Gorn. They're my 5 absolute locks that I am not taking out of my team under any circumstances just before the year starts.
I've got Gorn, Dacos, Bontempelli.
Mm-hmm. So there's no way in hell that you're taking Bont or Dacos out of your team whatsoever.
Nope.
I can say it. I like it.
No.
Nice.
No. We're going to move on. Jackson Mead, he was good, but just watch this space on him. Dockers, Cox, Wagner, Walker, Chapman, Brody, O'Driscoll, Jackson, Frederick. He missed a miss and missed a game, and Emmett. So
hey, quickly, can you highlight Phil's last comment? I really like that one. Until they give Supercoach points for pretending to chase, JFH isn't in my team. Big facts there, Philly.
Philly cheese with spitting truth.
Yeah.
Luke Ryan, 611 defender, 116 Supercoach points from 22 touches. Look like the old Ryan we know. Yeah, he took some kickouts. There's a few to come back in, but he's pretty much locked in down there, as well as this guy. So this guy's impressed me. I was not so sold on him until I've seen the way that he's been playing over the last couple of weeks. But that's Hayden Young. 115 Supercoach points, 525K defender, 2 goals, 7 tackles, CBAs, playing across halfback as well. I really like him. I really do.
I do too. I reckon he's got such good run and like just so much good attack on the ball. His kick's beautiful, and the Dockers really need someone like this. So I really like it too. Although in saying that, they are locked into those 3 starting mids in Fife, Brayshaw, and Sarong. So
I think,
but he's not still off halfback.
That's right. That's the key to him. He's not a one-trick pony. He can go to halfback and score well.
Correct.
Too.
Agreed.
Herbie, talk to me about Sarong.
Oh, he's just taken his game up to the next level. I think that I've liked him a lot and he's become the main guy instead of Brayshaw.
Yep.
So you can see it when they play shit, but they just look for him everywhere. So he's just absolute quality. I'm not sure I'm going to pick him at that price, but he's another that you just got to watch and see how he goes the first few games. But for me, there's just a bit better value spending a little bit less money.
Yep.
Brayshaw looks like he's playing the outside mid role.
Yep.
So Sarong's the number one in there.
Yep.
So I'm fading him, but Nate Fife, Skiddy.
Yeah, Brayshaw looks like he's playing defensive side, but Fifey really, really encouraging of what he did. He had 75% time on ground. Obviously took him off a little bit late just after the game was pretty much out of hand, but they were kind of just still trying to get the run into his legs. You know what I was most impressed about? I think he got slammed by Wines twice and then got up like it was absolute nothing. And I'm like, thank God. His body looks good. He looks confident. He only had 72 Supercoach points, but he gave away so many free kicks. So I'm not too worried about that. But the price for having a 2-time Brownlow medalist and a star like that, if his body is like good, ready to go, firing, he's going to be making us some coin.
Yeah, good. Jeremy Sharp, 123k mid, played his role on the wing. Only 10 touches, 51 Supercoach points, but looks to have that role looked up on the wing. Cooper Simpson, quiet, 33 Supercoach points while playing 78% time on ground, which is very underwhelming. Sean Darcy, I think he is still affected by that injury. 18 hitouts in 40 minutes is not what we expect from Darcy, especially against Sweet and Saldo. Watch this space there. One that I really did like, or two, Paddy Voss. So we've spoken about him on a podcast recently, 123k forward who came across from Essendon, 86% time on ground, 75 Supercoach points, 11 touches and a goal. Not sure on his job security there, but could play some games. Sam Switowski, Skiddy.
I love a bit of Sammy Swit. He's a good old research boy out my way. Absolute legend. Mate, his defensive forward pressure is just fantastic. And as soon as Lachie Schultz went to Collingwood, really gives him a lot of chance to actually show what he's capable of. And I don't know if you boys have known much about Sammy when he comes up through the juniors, but Box Hill Hawks, he was an absolute inside mid bull tackling machine, in and under, just gets those hard ball gets. And you can really see it when it goes into Freo's forward line. That's the only caveat, though, when it goes into Freo's forward line. So as much as I'd like to get him, it's just more one to watch if the price goes down a little bit, because he can get in for the contested disposals and make some money.
Supercoach aside, who's going to be the first coach sacked in the AFL this year?
Longmuir. He's pretty much already gone, isn't he? I mean, are they already targeting Beveridge?
Yeah. I think
they're already giving
Adam
hints.
Simpson.
Mate,
who do you think, Herbie?
Adam Simpson. It's got to be like they're going to get smashed every single week, and the pressure is going to be too high. Harley Reid's going to struggle a bit, and it's just going to be on him.
We're gonna bookmark this, and we'll get back to it. I actually think it's going to be Goodwin from Melbourne.
Goody, you reckon? Because he's still punting on games.
Probably.
It's in the comments. They've said it in the comments.
Yeah. Simo. Yeah.
Simo. Mate, they need Simo, though. They're not going to get anyone else. No one wants to take that shithole job. It's crap.
Yeah. G-Money. What year do you reckon Freo will win their first flag? Mate, not in our lifetime. There you go.
He said Freo, not Essendon. Bloody hell.
Freo. This year. Sorry. I got confused with flag dons. Anyway, we're moving on to Adelaide and West Coast. So for those that didn't play at West Coast, Jones, Rotham, Sheed, Ginby, Hewitt, Cully, Flynn, who's out for quite a while, and geez, their ruck stock sucked.
Oh, yeah.
Allen, Brockman, and Ryan. Only 4 names that I really want to bring up here, and they're pretty much the big Supercoach relevant players.
Yep.
Harley Reid, much better this game. 8 disposals to half time. He had the same to full time last game. Had equal high centre bounce attendances with 83% in the second term. 20 touches for the day with 3 tackles. he looks much better running through the midfield than what he does down across half back.
Yeah.
Lockie Rawlinson, 102k mid forward, 40 with 74% time on ground, disposal efficiency 57, 6 touches, 3 tackles up to half time, finished on 7 touches for the day, died in the arse after half time, but really like his attack on the pill.
Yeah, that's really annoying. He's in my team, but he's my loophole option.
Yeah, I don't think we can use him.
It's really annoying
because he might get a game.
Well, I know it sucks, but I want Naismith in my team as my ruck 3.
For those of you that are looking at Campbell Chesser, I'm going to keep it brief. And Elliot Yeo, 447k mid forward, 97 Supercoach points, 76% time on ground, 81% disposal efficiency, 9 touches at halftime, 3 frees, 4, which probably increased the score. Equal highest CBA with Harley Reid, 83%, 16 touches for the day, 9 tackles also, and looks unreal. For the Crows, Murray, Curtin, Parnell, Sloan, Schoenberg, Gallant, and Himmelberg did not play. Talk to me, Skiddy, about Rory Laird.
Mate, I just as much as I want to talk about this game, there's fuck all to talk about. It was done early. They all didn't give a stuff. Adelaide, even though they didn't give a shit, still were kicking West Coast ass. It was unbelievable to watch. I don't know. But Laird, I mean, look, he only had 89 Supercoach points. I still think he's going to be better for it when he actually tries. As we said, Sloan could be out for however long, we don't know. So it's going to be Laird, it's going to be Dawson, and then it's going to be Crouch. And all 3 of them, I mean, you can all have a swing. I think Dawson's the outside of it, and Crouch is obviously the ball winner, and Laird also is too. They have a weird one where they got 2 maiden ball winners in there, but yeah.
Herbie, I'm giving you 4 here. Which one are you fading, Herbie? Rory Laird, Jordan Dawson, Matt Crouch, or Sam Berry?
It's definitely not Sam Berry. I'm getting a Sam Berry. What's it called? Badge, I reckon.
That guy, he's hard as a cat's head.
Yeah,
he really just runs through packs. He's in and under. 115 Supercoach points, 72% time on ground, 63% efficiency, 2 snags and 10 touches in the first half. Finished with 22 touches and 7 tackles. At 220k, Herbie, which is just north of a rookie price. If you see this sort of ceiling in someone that's priced that short or that low or that cheap, is there consideration?
You know what? I reckon at the end of the season, he's going to be the one lifting the Supercoach Cup for me and Herbie's heroes. It's going to be Sam Berry. I'm going to send him up and I'm going to say, Sam, lift the fucking cup for me, mate. All right? And it's going to be confetti. Me and Sam are going to have a great time. Sam is great. I really
You'll be the only 2 blokes at that party.
I reckon so. Does it
like his game.
Mate, are you not worried about Schoenberg, who has literally played that role that Sam Berry played on the weekend, and it was also against West Coast, who suck ass, and Schoenberg has literally been playing that role for the last 2 years.
If he can bring that, what he brought on the weekend and what I saw, if he brings that, his price is going to skyrocket.
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
All right. Nah.
And I am not a fan of Matt Crouch. He went at 100% disposal efficiency with 17 touches, 10 in the first half, ended up on 115, but that's at 100%. I have never seen that bloke go to 100% ever, and it was against West Coast. So please don't get sucked in. The next game, Hawthorn versus Western Bulldogs. For the Western Bulldogs, Bailey Dale, Alex Keith, Gardner, and McRae did not play. We have not seen McRae at all this preseason. Please don't get sucked in and pick him. He's got to have some run. He is getting older. But this guy, the Colonel, Skiddy.
Oh, the zinger horse.
The zinger.
The zinger. Riley fucking Sanders, baby.
Wow.
He oozes like greatness on the AFL footy field. This is unbelievable. 86 Supercoach points, only 80% time on ground. Look, 30 disposals. 30 disposals from a first-year player. He's unbelievable. 4 tackles. He doesn't care about the contact. He'll just go hard at it. It's beautiful to watch him play. He's going to be an absolute star for the Dogs for years. Another great midfielder the Dogs have. Pissed off.
I'll tell you what. And I know it's Hawthorn, and they're probably going to be another bottom 4 side this year, but with a midfield with Connor Nash and James Warple and
Finn McGuinness,
Jai Newcomb, you know, they're big bodies, and this bloke just made it look so easy.
Oh, yeah. Eye test is passed so far above for Sanders. It's unbelievable. And he's only going to get better. It's criminal that they were able to get him so late.
I know that you blokes are a massive McKercher fan, and so am I. But does this guy give the Rookie of the Year a shake?
A huge shake.
I just think it's any other team besides the Dogs. You know, like his best place is mid, and the Dogs have probably one of the best midfields in the league. I know he still had 30 touches. I'm aware of that, but yeah, I don't know. I love watching him play, but there's also so many opportunities for the other guys as well. But I think he's going to be right up there. Yeah. So, yeah,
he's too good. He's too good for it not to be. They've got to play him. I'd be interested to see how he's going to go, like what you said, Skiddy, and how much time he does get on ball, and where he's going to play when he's not on ball. So I don't think he's going to play back. He might play a high half forward role and rest there.
That's
but that's, as everybody knows, that's the hardest position to play in footy, right? So, that'll be the biggest question. But his talent is undeniable. They said leading into the draft that he was the most polished and ready player to come in, but they weren't sure about his ceiling. So they said pretty much he's going to hit the ground running. He's going to kill it. He's going to do all the things he's doing now. But how much more does he have? So that's why he, dropped to that 5 or 6 range mark, and he wasn't considered a 1 or 2 pick.
I reckon the Zinger would be the type of bloke that would tell Bevo where he's playing, and Bevo would just say, okay.
There's a fair chance of it. Shit. He's bloody good.
We'll move on. Bontempelli, awesome.
Yeah. How do you not have him in your side?
Just pick him.
He's so good.
He played so much time forward. And just took the absolute PI 55 and still scored nearly 140.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, oh my God. He's so bloody good.
We'll move on. James Harms, 258K, 74 Supercoach points, 72% time on ground, disposal efficiency just nearly 77%, 17 touches, 5 tackles, 1 free against, and a nice snag roll. CBAs, only 30%, so room for improvement. But at 250K, could you?
Facts. Yeah, I'm still looking at him. He's still on my radar. Just not 100%. Like it's a forward. It's another forward. You know what I mean? Gidrick, absolutely spot on. He was
100%, my man.
Ridiculous that he didn't win it. Yeah, but I just got to say that Harms actually plays.
Okay.
But I don't know about you. Fading Caulfield.
You fading him?
I just don't think. I don't think he plays round 1. Bailey Dale didn't play. I really want him to, but I'm just so skeptical that he won't actually get the game because they do have other players that fill his role.
So,
yeah.
With G Money here, no love for Libba. He's in my team, mate. I would absolutely love to have him in my team, but. Newsflash, I've got English and I've got Bontempelli. I can't have too many dogs. So that's the only reason why he's not in my team. Otherwise, I'd
you won't find many other bigger Libba fans than this guy right here. But I'm the exact same as Horse. When it comes to it, I need Bont, I need English, and I can't take all 3 of them. Well, I can, but maybe.
Herbie?
What are we talking about? Libba? Is he in the team?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think, too many doggies players. I love Libba, but I think I'd only pick him if there's an injury.
Okay. For the Hawks, Weddle, Mitchell, Jiath, Blank, Granger, Barras, Day, Morrison, Moore, Wingard, Gunston did not play. Massimo D'Ambrosio, 224K. 77 Supercoach points, 77% time on ground, 94% disposal efficiency. Meh.
Yeah.
Nothing great.
I mean, it's encouraging for his price. So just to see him out there and play, basically, I need someone around that price for a defense to be able to get in there.
Yep. And Matrix just want milk that tastes like real milk.
Great ad.
No worries. And Philly is running the 300 dragging in Bont, Libber, and Goulden. Almost. I'm running Bont, Goulden, and English, mate, so I'm not far behind you.
Shit, I'm the same. God.
Nick Watson, 189k mid forward. No, I bought it up early. He's the size of a pissant. I understand he's an AFL footballer, but he needs time in the AFL system when he's that size to understand the game and the complexities of it and the speed of it and to use his body. We saw that he had a set shot straight in front, 35 meters out, and struggled to kick the distance.
Yeah.
So
0-3 as well for the day. His confidence was knocked for sure.
It's a work in progress there.
Yeah,
Kirby?
100%.
I'll say this. How does it work with him and Guinea? Because Ginnivan killed it this game. He nearly had 10 goals at half time. And the funniest thing to watch is Ginnivan lining up for a set shot and acting like he's going to pass it off because it will just literally never happen. It never happens. So for me, I'm just curious how those two work in the same forward line. I don't think there's room for both of them.
Mm-hmm. Henry Hustwaite, 184k mid, 84 Supercoach points. Looks nice. 80 touches in the first quarter, slowed down, finished with 17, 4 tackles, 3 marks. Do you pay up for him as your M8?
Yes, I think so. I'm trying to figure out how to get him in. There's so many mids that don't have, dual position that around that one where I just want to be able to swap and change and do whatever the fuck I want to do with them. But I'm trying to figure out a way to get Henry Hustwaite in. He looked very, very nice.
Yeah. Darren Harris in the comments. Newcomb is ready, lads. Don't forget him. He is definitely not forgotten, and he's on my short list, mate. I am looking for ways to bring him in because I reckon he's in for a big year. Ethan Phillips, 102k defender, only 56, 83% time on ground, 90% efficiency. I liked his game, 102k. I think he works well beside Sicily, and at 102k, regardless of whether he scores 56 or 70, if, for example, McKercher averages 70 and he averages 56, he could make you more money than what McKercher might. So for me, he's in.
Yep, I can definitely see it as well. I think he sits pretty well there. I'm glad that Gidrick followed up with that next comment because he said Hustwaite is the new Bont. And then he said in a couple of years. And thank God he added a couple of years because come on, mate.
Yeah.
Bont. I know we like to use these big names as the next of these blokes, the next of these blokes. Oh, we want to say that Harley Reid's going to be the next Dusty. Just come on. All right. Those players are absolute elite of elite. So, but Hustwaite does have the right stepping stones.
Ben McKay is going to be the next Stephen Silvani.
Oh my
Carl Amon, 483k mid, 96 Supercoach points, time on ground, 78%, disposal efficiency, 71%, 28 touches and 4 marks. I like it, but I don't love it.
Not for classic for me.
No, I drafted him in a Supercoach draft, and I will hold him as my replacement on bench. But when he gets that DPP round 6, he will help with my backs. Sicily just took it easy. Don't really need to talk about him. This guy's one I want to talk about. Cam McKenzie. So 271k forward, 90 Supercoach points, 85% time on ground at 84% efficiency, 19 touches, 1 snag roll, 4 marks. Could be an option up forward if you game. But if you remember in last year's practice matches, he did the same thing. He lit it up. He scored an 80 and an 100, and then the year started, and he scored a fucking 30-something.
Yeah.
I can't be burnt again, especially by someone that at that price range. When you've got James Jordan, who's that price, you got Harms, who's cheaper. You've got Fife at the same price. You just couldn't, could you?
Nah, there's no way. I can't. There's other options, and you said it perfectly. No.
Our last game, and a game that you boys are pretty passionate about, St Kilda versus North Melbourne. So there was a pretty heavy wind going to the left side of the telecast that was it tough, or made it tough for scoring. But do we start by talking about that bump, or do you want to leave it till the end?
Whatever you want to do. I think that Herbie should discuss it because I will obviously say some words that will make it demonetized. And
let's wait. Let's
not
wait till the end.
acceptable.
So Harry Sheasel, 556k. Oh, Kizza's in the chat. Zinger.
Oh, Kizza, what a legend.
Sanders.
Shout out Kizza, who's
Yeah.
been bloody with us in Discord all week, weekend enjoying it.
I tell you what, if you're looking for a good time and the missus sick of you talking about footy, jump in the Discord. There's a couple of ripper lads in there that love chatting footy, and they're no deals. They know their footy. So jump in 100%. And join the crew. So for example, over the course of the weekend, we had over 2,500 comments on AFL footy in the Discord. So there's plenty going on. Harry Sheasel, as I said, 556k, 101 Supercoach points at 78% disposal efficiency. That's no fluke. That's going to be him year in, year out. Distributed the ball well. There's no denying Fisher impacted his scoring. He's still in the side for me.
Yeah. He's still in mine as well. He's getting some centre bounce attendances now as well. North need him to kick the ball out of defence just because how good he is with it. Doesn't bother me in the slightest about Fisher. They can kick it to each other. Could not care less. It's still shares.
Zach Fisher, boys. Herbie?
It's really nice to see a bit of class down there, isn't it? When we've had like Luke McDonald, Aaron Hall, who have we had? Kieran Hayden, Aiden Bonner.
Yeah.
We've had some absolute duds.
Jared Polak.
To see Fisher just like have a lot of composure. Down there and just look really, really nice has been good. Especially when you've got one thing you got to factor in too is you've got two quite inexperienced key defenders. So you got Biggie, you got Dawson as well. So you've got guys who you got Toby Pink who just are quite new to the AFL system. So they get the ball and you can tell that they're really hesitant with it and they just want to feed it to a good ball user. So Fisher, Sheasel, McKercher, they're just going to feed them all day. It's just going to be them the whole day. So I really, really liked his game. And I do wonder how it's going to impact Sheasel, but I do think Sheasel's going to move a little bit more into the midfield. But Fisher looks amazing.
What have we got here? JB, catch the fish. I'm hooked, by the way. Good job, guys. Thank you, JB. If you're not already jumping in Discord, mate, sounds like you know what you're talking about. I think you get along with the lads just fine. Zach Fisher, I can't trust him. His hamstrings he's done 2 hamstrings already this preseason.
Oh, yeah. But still. Nah.
If you had to choose between Zach Fisher and Nick Martin, I know we're picking a player from your team and a player from my team that I support, but who would you pick?
We're also picking a mid and a forward.
You're right.
When there's no...
But it's a similar role that they're playing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'll take Martin, I think, pretty comfortably as well. But also, too, in saying that, Martin also has to deal with McGrath in the same way that Fisher has to deal with Sheasel. It's just that Martin doesn't have the same amount of injury cloud that Fisher does. But, you never know. Like, this is why we take a gamble on this guy. You
blokes are part of plenty of North Melbourne chats. And
yes,
I know you, Herbie, you're part of the inner sanctum of all things North Melbourne. Kanga, roo. Is there any confidence in this man's body?
Yes.
Oh, it's a big question, but I think he'll be fine. They want to move Sheasel away from the back line, even though he's really, really good down there. The type of player he is, he's going to be like a Toby Green type of player to play forward and then be really, really good in the midfield like a Pendlebury. So that's why you saw him fed so much on the weekend, Fisher. So until he's not fed like that and he's not taking all the kick outs and he's not, getting everything when they're in the back line, then you just got to take a risk on him, I reckon.
Okay. Well, watch this space. We'll talk about it more in the Discord. LDU, quiet day, 36. Don't really look too much into this. Only 38% of his tackles stuck. That's not LDU at all. Colby McKercher, quiet, 58 Supercoach points, 78% time on ground. Yes,
sorry, mate. I've got to bring it up. I said this to the boys as well in the Discord. LDU, I have actually faded him out of my side as much as I hated to do it. But The real telltale sign is that it's not him getting force-fed by Todd Goldstein in the ruck anymore, and it's going from Zeri, who cannot make a fucking hit out to advantage if his life depended on it. It was shit to watch, and LDU so many times ran through expecting a hit out, didn't come anywhere near him, and he just went, well, shit, now what do I do? I think that might hinder him a bit. As good of a player as he is in the stoppages, he will lose some Supercoach points, I believe, by not getting first crack at it from the ruck.
Wow, good pickup by the Skid Man.
Yeah.
Toby Pink, yes or no?
Old Titty, 2 in there. Don't rate it. When Logue comes back and Core comes back, I think it's either going to be him or Biggie that's got to go. And as good of a price he is, Core may still play round 1. I know Logue's out for a while, but there's also Charlie Comben, who they're predicting to come back and play in the back line. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Charlie Lazaro, 181k mid forward, 69 Supercoach points at 84% time on ground. Worked his way into the game, 11 touches and 4 tackles at half time, finishing with 21 touches and 5 tackles. 25% CBAs the day for Charlie. I know you blokes, we've been to the footy all together in the past, and we've taken the PI 55 out of him, and we've never rated him, but it looks like he's actually taken that step to him being a half-decent AFL footballer this year, Herbie.
Yeah. Look, when he gets the ball, he's hard to tackle. When he first came into the team, and he played really well as a bit of a half forward, and then he played a little bit more deep forward, and he was kicking goals. He was doing a lot with his pace. I wanted him as a half backman, but then for one reason or another, he's in and out of the team, inconsistency, playing shit, blah blah blah, and then this off season, he's just killed it. When you watch the last couple of preseason games, whenever he gets the ball, he's learned from somebody, because I think he's actually learned from LDU. He looks a little bit like him, where he's just evading and he's hard to tackle and he's getting through and he looks like a standout. When he gets the ball, he actually does really good things with it.
For sure.
So I think I think you got to have him.
Nice.
Biggie, I think it's easy. There's one massive reason why Lazaro's actually been a lot better now, and it's because he's not scared about getting tackled. He used to be scared when he got the ball that he was going to get tackled, and he'd just give up the ball as quickly as possible. Now he's actually okay with it, and he's actually tackling back himself. That's the reason why I hate
Lazaro.
him.
If you had to pick one between Lazaro and Harms, who are you picking?
I think Lazaro probably. Oh shit. Lazaro probably gets a little bit more opportunities, I think, when it comes down to it. McRae may have a bit more of a role in the guts than Harms does. I think I'd take Lazaro.
Herbie?
I mean, in a midfield and centre bounce attendances for Lazaro, that he's getting them in this midfield, like with McKershaw, Sheasel, LDU, Simpkin, and he's getting into some of them. I think it's promising signs. So I'd take Lazaro.
Hugo Garcia, we've spoken about in the past. 4 touches at the half, 3 tackles. Looked all right, but probably not starting. Sorry, I missed Biggie. He played well, but with Charlie Comben, what do you call him?
Chom
to come back in. He's probably not worth it. But another one in our rookie pod that we brought up a couple of weeks ago. I know I keep going back to it, but if you haven't yet, it's only 25 minutes worth of listening, and it is my head on the screen. So download it on Spotify if you don't want to see this rude head here. But I did speak about Darcy Wilson. Super impressive in this game by Darcy Wilson. 13 touches, 5 marks first half. Was so good to watch with his outside running the entire game. No Crouch or Windhager. May have allowed him to roam a little bit more, but he did finish with 24 touches, 6 frees 4, and 10 marks. I'm not particularly worried about the 6 frees 4, but the fact that he's getting 26 touches and 10 marks means that his own teammates are looking for him.
Yep, absolutely agree. And we knew that he was going to be an absolute running machine. He's an absolute jet with it. But yeah, his kicking really, really impressed me. I don't think Crouch has any impact on Wilson whatsoever. So yeah, no, he's 130k. He's definitely in my team.
Herbie?
He's in my team for sure. I was shattered that North didn't get him on draft night. We missed out by one pick. Skiddy.
Right.
Yep. And he's a North boy too. God damn.
The last guy I want to bring up, Jack Steele, 529k mid, 111 Supercoach points from 79% time on ground. I think he's back. 11 touches, six tackles, looked good, and he looked in good condition. Just cruised around. Good to see him. Like his body, he's fit, he's up and about. Finished with 9 tackles, 21 touches, and just cruising around. Should 100% be considered. I'm tipping that he will be in the top 10 midfielders come season's end.
Yep. Let's remember 2 years ago, this bloke was third for overall Supercoach. Yeah. So Steely, he's definitely in. I mean, no Crouch, a little bit of an iffy, but not sure about it. One G Money just brought up Nasai Wanganeen-Miller. Yeah, I was going to say he had that run off halfback for the Saints, and although he didn't, they didn't give it to him like every single time, but when they gave it to him, he looked amazing with the ball in his hand, and he really was able to move it with how quick he is, and then they were able to punish it inside 50. So I think he's a natural good shout. He's just at a very awkward price for me at the moment with my defense, but he's definitely just because Coleman's about 80k cheaper, and to go from Coleman to him, or then you got to sacrifice either like Dacos, Sheasel, Stewart, Houston kind of area to go down to him. It's just that iffy in between. My plan is that I'm actually going Coleman. Hopefully he gets me a few coin early, and then I can go to Wanganeen-Miller.
So there's something else I want to touch on with St Kilda, and that is with Bonner. So Bonner scored over 102 games in a row and looks nice down there. And now that Webster's having a bit of a holiday, as we'll touch on in a minute, Sinclair, we haven't seen him this preseason so far. I think Bonner's a chance to start, but I don't like his job security. So for those of you that think that Bonner is cheap and you're going to bring him in, you might get a game or two out of him. But I fear that once St Kilda start getting all their players back, that he'll be the first one picked. We see the NRL boys having a crack at each other. Never seen Mick in a shirt. Is it cold in country Victoria? The missus loves the refrigerated cooling here, mate. So I need to keep myself nice and warm. SC big one. Yeah, fair call. We're finished with teams. Is there actually no? We've got to talk about Webster. Keep it PG rated because I don't want to get cancelled.
Actually,
let's not. How many weeks is he going to get?
Look, okay, let me just say it was a dog hit. It was late. He jumped off the ground. He was aiming for his head. He was smiling after he did it. Like, mate, that's just an absolute cheap shot from someone that was trying to play footy. Like, mate, you got to be better than that. That's just an absolute dog hit. I think they're going to give him 6. From Pal Peppers being 4, that's got to be 6. I think that's got to be 8. And I'm not even saying it as like, as a North supporter. I'm saying it as someone that's absolutely disgraced that was allowed to happen on a footy field. Like, from all the shit we've been saying, about the head high hit, that's an absolute, that's a dead set disgrace. I hated watching that, seeing his head snap back. And this could be the end of Jai's career. This could be like a Brayshaw kind of thing. He's had 2 concussions last year. He could be done.
Herbie?
10 weeks. The AFL make a statement, and then they look into, which I heard on the radio today, great point. They got to look into yellow and red cards in game because we're down a player, we're down our captain, down the leader, and then they've got an extra player on. We've got to look into it. It's got to be looked into. What other sport allows this?
Herbie,
imagine you're at a grand final, you're a dog team, and you just take Dacos out with a king hit.
Well, imagine the Lynch and Wakeland thing going on.
Oh yeah, bloody oath.
Anyway,
but that wasn't
what do you think,
but
Nick?
let me just say as well, that was not that wasn't like Maynard's where he was trying to make like a smother or play on the ball or anything like that. He literally jumped to hit him in the head. Like, it was clear as day. Like,
I just want to say, after being a senior coach in the past as well, and seeing what Clarko did and marched out and had a bit of a crack at Webster and was it Dougal Howard?
Yeah.
I would have 100% done that myself. I understand why he apologised, but you're only apologising to make face to the media and to
100%.
keep everything civil. So if anything happens to Clarko, I'm not suggesting we riot, but I'm suggesting that it's piss poor by the AFL because that's just him sticking up for his players.
100%.
And I 100% believe that nothing should happen to Clarko. And again, if I was in that position, I'd be sticking up for my boys as well. So
100%. I do the exact same thing, and I think any coach would say the exact same thing as well.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So-
when I'm coaching the under 6 ice
Right.
team, I'm gonna fly the flag as well for little fellas.
You're going to teach the kids how to throw right cut lunches. Anyway, so we're going to wrap this up.
Wait. G Money's comment. 8 to 10 weeks, which is coincidentally the same amount of time Herbie has been trying to grow that mustache. Brilliant, G Money,
Mate,
brilliant.
I've been
I couldn't let that one go
I've been
by.
going this since June last year.
It's still going from November.
Oh, fuck. That's great.
For those of you that aren't yet, we have Insight Unlimited too, NRL, AFL, NBA, NBL, and BBL. If you want to get yourself involved in Insight Unlimited, join our Discord. When we complete this podcast, I'll put the link below here and it'll be on Spotify and all good audio platforms. What we're also going to be doing too, ladies and gentlemen, is we've got some merchandise on the way. And what we're going to be doing with this is we encourage you to go on all our audio platforms and give us a 5-star review. We are randomly going to be picking out one person at random to forward on some merchandise, thanks to the guys here at Insight Fantasy Sports. So we want to encourage everyone to go out, give us a 5-star like and review on all good audio platforms. And if you're that lucky winner, we will hit up your DMs and send you some merchandise, courtesy of the guys here at Insight Fantasy Sports. Herbie, it's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to see you for the second time this year.
I'm back now. I'm back. Telstra's fixed my internet, so I'm back. All right.
It's like David Rees-Jones. He's in for 1, he's out for 8.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of that.
Skiddy, always a pleasure, brother.
Mate, very much appreciated as always.
Now-
I just want to say a big thanks to everyone in the chat. I know this has been a very, very long one. Hopefully we can get some timestamps or something like that on it.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to divvy it up into 2 episodes. So it's roughly 50 to 55 minutes each. And then you can go from one to the other and what have you. It'll stay as this on YouTube, though, I think. I'll see what our producer, Nathan Brain, has to say.
What a man.
But
yeah, appreciate everyone in the chat as well. Just saying that's been with us. It's been a long stream. You guys have been absolutely awesome getting into it. So, legends.
Thursday night, we are going live prior to round 0. We're going to talk about the teams that are playing. We're going to talk about the ins. We're going to talk about the outs. We're going to talk about players to watch. We want you in our Discord because every game, every quarter, there's going to be one of us guys. There's all the community there. We're all going to be talking sport. We're going to be talking AFL. We're going to try and get you, the viewers at home, the best possible opportunity or the best forecast as to the players we see as doing well this year. So the players to pick, the players to fade, and hopefully win you some cash in your cash leagues. And even better, joining our Inside Unlimited League and winning some free stuff, thanks to the guys at the Standard Squeeze. So before we finish up, that code is, once I scroll to the top of all our notes, 913-351. 913-351. It is free to join and you can win free shit if you get the top score. But for now, this is Herbie, Skiddy, and the Horse, and this has been another episode of the Inside AFL Show. See ya.